Good evening and welcome to California Today. I'm Daniel Hall. Let's take a look at today's stories. On Wednesday, the Los Angeles Police Department announced the arrest of a suspect in the killing of a UCLA grad student. Police announced today that they busted a fencing operation over the weekend and recovered approximately $185,000 worth of merchandise stolen from Bay Area retailers. A company in California is collecting donations for Tonga. The vessel leaves Friday, but people can still donate for future trips. A driver of a Tesla on Autopilot is being charged for 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. While using the Autopilot function in 2019, he ran a red light, slammed into another car, and killed 2 people. 27-year-old Kevin George Aziz Riyad is the first person in the nation to be charged with a felony for misuse of vehicular autopilot. He pleaded not guilty and is free on bail while the case is pending. The family of the 2 people killed is suing Riyad for alleged negligence. In December of 2019, Riyad's Tesla Model S was moving at a high speed when it exited from the freeway and ran a red light in the Los Angeles suburb of Gardena. The car struck a Honda Civic at an intersection, killing 2 people at the scene. Riyad and the woman in the Tesla were hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. The victims' families have filed separate lawsuits against both Tesla and Riyad. On Wednesday, Los Angeles police arrested a suspect in the killing of a UCLA grad student. The arrest comes 1 day after the department announced a reward for information leading to his capture.
On Wednesday, police arrested a suspect related to the death of UCLA grad student Brianna Kupfer, according to LAPD. The suspect, Sean Laval Smith, was taken into police custody. Officials had previously announced a $250,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the suspect. Smith allegedly stabbed the 24-year-old Kupfer to death while she was working at a luxury furniture store last week.
Brianna, who was born, educated, and was building her career here in Los Angeles, was a rising star in this community, whose ascent was unnecessarily cut short by the actions of a heartless criminal last Thursday.
Authorities reported that on Thursday, January 13th, Smith allegedly entered the store where Kupfer was working. She texted a friend that he gave her a bad vibe, but the friend didn't receive it in time. Kupfer was then attacked and left for dead, only to be found by another customer who called the police.
My own daughter is not that much older than Brianna, and I can only imagine the heartbreak. Please take the time to hug and cherish your family today, as Brianna would have wanted.
LAPD identified the suspect through security camera footage.
It showcases an individual with a distinctive backpack. A male, African-American, 6 foot to 6'5", thin build, with short dreadlocks, wearing a painter style face covering.
Local police arrested Smith in Pasadena City, Los Angeles County. LAPD confirmed Smith is in custody after he was arrested by Pasadena police.
The California Highway Patrol announced Tuesday that officers arrested a suspect over the weekend who was in possession of an estimated $185,000 in designer handbags and other merchandise. Some of them came from a Louis Vuitton store in San Francisco Union Square, a recent target of smash-and-grab robbers.
The California Highway Patrol's organized retail crime task force busted a fencing operation on Sunday. They arrested a suspect and recovered over $180,000 in high-end merchandise, which were later identified as from many retailers throughout the Bay Area. According to officials from the Golden Gate Division of the task force, among the recovered stolen items were luxury handbags from the Louis Vuitton store at the Union Square in San Francisco. The Louis Vuitton store was hit in a brazen smash-and-grab robbery in November. Dozens of thieves made away with the high-end items valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. The suspect is currently being booked and charged with organized retail crimes. The California Highway Patrol is encouraging anyone to report organized theft incidents.
A Sacramento woman was allegedly behind what the district attorney describes as the largest Employment Development Department, or EDD, fraud scheme in Sacramento County history. The Sacramento County District Attorney's Office said the 35-year-old Jamie Williams Major faces charges for each of the 166 fraudulent unemployment claims she filed with the state. The scheme totaled to over $2.75 million, according to a Tuesday report. The DA's office wrote, law enforcement discovered the fraud was 10 times bigger than first suspected. Williams Major allegedly used the names and identification information of California inmates and other victims to file false unemployment claims. She was first arrested back in April 2021 along with 6 inmates. At the time, the Sacramento County DA's office said investigators believed the group was behind a $250,000 EDD fraud scheme. However, investigators found additional fraudulent paperwork and credit card evidence during home and cell phone searches. Williams Major was arrested on January 6th while in Las Vegas. She has since been booked into the Sacramento County Main Jail. Jail records show she is ineligible for bail. She is expected to be arraigned in court Wednesday afternoon. A sheriff's office is facing a civil rights investigation in Silicon Valley. California's Attorney General's office is conducting the investigation. NTD's David Lamb reports.
In an online conference on Wednesday, Attorney General Rob Bonta announced that his office is launching a civil rights investigation into the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office in Northern California.
Our investigation will seek to determine whether the Sheriff's Office has engaged in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful conduct.
Bonta says this investigation comes amidst allegations relating to conditions of confinement in jail facilities, resistance to lawful oversight, and other misconduct. Since this is an ongoing investigation, Bonta said they have made no determinations about specific allegations, but he said there's been much written about jail conditions.
How individuals within the jail in Santa Clara County, how they've been treated, the conditions of confinement. There have been deaths and injuries in custody.
The sheriff's office did not immediately respond to NTD's request for comment. Last year, San Jose's mayor called for the resignation of County Sheriff Lori Smith, but she said she's not ready to resign, as there's still work to do. Bonta has been known for implementing oversight on law enforcement. In December of last year, Bonta launched an independent review of the Torrance Police Department in Southern California to correct potential misconduct. According to a press release from the Attorney General's office, a pattern or practice investigation typically identifies and compels the correction of systemic violations of constitutional rights, as opposed to criminal investigation, which looks into individual incidents. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
Stanford University will be mandating that all of its students receive a COVID booster by the end of this month. In opposition, a group of students delivered an open letter to the university and have an ongoing online petition demanding a repeal to the mandate. NTD's Jason Blair brings us more.
Students at Stanford University started an online petition to repeal the school's booster mandate. The mandate was first announced in mid-December and will require all students to show proof of receiving a COVID-19 booster vaccine by January 31st, unless they qualify for an approved religious or medical exemption.
I think that the decision to mandate boosters for all students really flies in the face of a lot of the evidence on the ground. And a lot of the things that we should be valuing as Stanford, as that community.
Fisher, a PhD student at Stanford, started the petition. As of today, it has close to 1,800 signatures. Fisher says 95% of the students are reported to be vaccinated, and according to the numbers on the CDC website, the university's student demographic are already at low risk of serious illness from COVID-19.
When you add on top of that the fact that boosters are not without risks themselves, right? There's a developing body of research about the risks associated with boosters. I thought it was irresponsible of Stanford to make that decision for its students instead of empowering its students to make their own decisions.
E.J. Miranda, a representative from Stanford University, told NTD in response that their booster requirement is consistent with the advice of county and federal public health leaders. A high level of immunity within our student community will help us continue in-person educational activities and put us in a better position to deal with the risk of future variants. Fisher says one of the university's professors tweeted in support, and overall the reaction has been very positive.
I've gotten a lot of emails from parents, from students, from alumni, and from staff at Stanford right now who expressed their support.
Currently, there are similar efforts happening at universities such as the University of Chicago, Cornell University in New York, and George Mason in Virginia. Jason Blair, NTD News, California.
A Bay Area company is accepting donations to help those in Tonga after a massive underwater volcano erupted. Here's NTD's Eileen Ng with more.
As SF Enterprises, an Oakland-based family-run business of 37 years, specializes in shipping to the South Pacific Islands, including Tonga. After a massive volcanic eruption on January 14th, the company is looking to provide aid to the island nation.
We've just been taking a lot of water because we know the water supply is going to be completely gone. There's no municipal water in Tonga. They depend on rainwater. And so I'm sure all the tanks are filled with debris and ash. And so if anything, anyone that calls to want to try to help, we just tell them water. That's what we could do right now.
Langi Pahulu said she and all the staff have family in Tonga, but they lost communication last Friday night.
It definitely hits close to home. I mean, we're all just trying to do it day by day and try not to be so sad about the whole situation, because without having contact, we really don't know what the direct need is.
A vessel will leave on Friday, and it takes 4 to 5 weeks to get there. Those who miss their chance to donate this time can still donate for the next vessel with a cutoff date on February 2nd. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
The heavy rains that soaked California late last year were welcomed by farmers and urban planners, but they were also appreciated by another group, endangered Coho salmon. NTD's Andrew Thomas has more.
California received more precipitation from October to December than in the previous 12 months, according to the National Weather Service.
Well, this has been a really exciting spawning season here. We got a lot of rain all at once, and the fish were able to get up into small tributaries where they normally aren't seen.
The abundance of rain and snow arrived in time for the November to January spawning season in the resource-rich Tamales Bay watershed north of San Francisco. Experts say it enabled some fish to reach tributaries of the Lagunitas Creek at least 13 miles inland in Marin County, and some fish have been spotted a mile upstream, from where the San Geronimo Creek had been dammed until little more than a year ago.
We've seen fish in places that they haven't been for almost 25 years. And I think that's definitely a sign of the winter that we've had so far. Is great rain, long duration storms that have allowed fish to pass through culverts that are also hard to get through, and they can get up into those tributaries.
The rain could easily be a mere pause in the state's 20-year drought. The lack of water has complicated efforts by officials to keep fish, farms, and growing cities supplied.
Because they like these really tiny, small streams, and that's where their survival is the highest. But if they can't get there because of the obstacles that us as humans have put there, then they're not going to survive.
Experts say the state needs several wet years in a row to replenish reservoirs. In the meantime, the fish are benefiting from the recent rains. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for a sports update.
I'm Thomas Christian, taking you through the California Today Sports Roundup. Making life difficult for Tom Brady will be key if the Los Angeles Rams are to have success against the veteran quarterback in their divisional playoff matchup against Tampa Bay on Sunday. The Los Angeles defense dominated the Arizona Cardinals en route to a 34-11 blowout win at home Monday, but will have a bigger mountain to climb on the road against the reigning Super Bowl champions and 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. The Rams defense, which is led by 3-time Defensive Player of the Year Aaron Donald, have respect but not fear of Brady. In addition to Donald, Brady will be in the crosshairs of outside linebacker Von Miller, who joined the team in November and recorded 6 tackles and an early sack on Monday to set the tone. Victor Hedman had 2 goals and an assist for the shorthanded Tampa Bay Lightning, who earned a 6-4 win over host Los Angeles Kings on Tuesday night. Nikita Kucherov, Mateo Joseph, and Steven Stamkos each had a goal and assist. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare also scored. Andrei Vasilevsky made 32 saves for the Lightning. Tampa Bay played the game with just 4 defensemen because of injuries, but still won for the 6th time in the past 7 games. Blake Lizotti, Alex Iafallo, Arthur Kaliev, and Philip Dansalt scored, while Cal Peterson made 19 saves for the Kings, who have dropped 2 in a row after a 4-game winning streak. Tampa Bay 6, Kings 4. The University of Michigan said it would pay $490 million to 1,050 people to resolve claims of sexual assault against a former sports doctor in a settlement spanning decades and involving mostly male athletes as victims. The university said that the deal, the culmination of 2 years of negotiations with attorneys for the victims, would settle all claims of abuse by the late Dr. Robert Anderson, pending approval by the school's Board of Regents and the courts. Under the agreement, $460 million will be paid to 1,050 claimants and $30 million will be placed in reserve for any unidentified victims who come forward by July 30th, 2023. Anderson, who was a physician for the football team and other athletic programs at the university, where he worked from 1966 until his retirement in 2003, died in 2008. The sexual abuse settlement is the latest involving a prestigious U.S. academic institution. Last March, the University of Southern California agreed to pay $852 million to resolve lawsuits brought on by 710 women who accused George Tyndall, an ex-gynecologist, of abusing them and the school of trying to cover it up. That followed a 2018 settlement in which Michigan State University agreed to pay $500 million to hundreds of women sexually abused by disgraced gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar. Parker Steinar, a lawyer representing some 200 claimants in the University of Michigan settlement, was the largest involving a U.S. academic institution, a single abuser, and mostly male victims. Steinar said he hoped the case would help bring awareness of male survivors of sexual abuse, who are often viewed less sympathetically by society and can be reluctant to come forward. As always, I'm Thomas Christian, and thanks for tuning in.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, feel free to let us know. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Daniel Hall. Have a wonderful evening.